Salutations! Searching for a Noah here. We're now 6 episodes in. We got a sequel! And it's to the 3D Revenant saga. Thought the first game would get the sequel, but Revenant Dogma's the name. Well, time to talk about the game. 2 races this time, humans and Therians, which are these zoanthrope types. But mostly they're like lion people and scaly people, from which you'll see like 2 different types. Their faith in their feral gods advanced them over the humans. Humans gonna human and be salty and jealous and lose faith in their gods and actually try to start some shit. We actually start in a dungeon fighting enemies in the style of Revenant Saga. We are definitely back to the 3D. We've even got Japanese voiceovers during the fights. Something that wasn't necessarily needed, but nice to see what the evolution of these games took us, and I wouldn't have this segment if I didn't take the time to explain that. Like talking about the new mechanics, for example. This game, some chests disappear and reappear later in a different area with maybe newer items in it, but most times it's not going to be stuff you like really need. The first new mechanic I noticed was the sides of my screen suddenly going yellow as I walked around and then quickly going orange and then red, bam, enemy encounter. Once again, not something I was needed, but something interesting to look at and kind of help this game stand out a little bit more. Anyway, you start with 2 characters in the Revenant core, but you don't have Revenant powers yourselves. The one that isn't the obvious JRPG protag you'll come to hate because she's a total bitch for the good portion of the game's plot. So even among fellow humans, you 2 are treated like garbage for being failures, quote-unquote. Revenant cores are bastards. You stumble across other Revenant cores ready to kill you for something you weren't supposed to see, something to do with party member number 3, and you soon get chased by Therians and taken to their leader, who becomes party member number 4, as you try and solve what's going on with the Revenant core and all this going-ons. The transform gimmick from Saga returns. There's multiple ones to turn into this time, but they all run afoul of that chance of going berserk, and at a much quicker rate. Like one transformation I went from 0 to 25%, but every battle after the fact, the gauge itself actually does go down by 5 each time. So it doesn't just stay anymore like the first game. So you can be more active and not have to constantly defend to bring it down. So yeah, good change on that. The game also mentions instas take it back down to 0 as well, and you get skills you can use to pull your gauge down as well, or in some cases, even up. So be wary of that, but a lot more options to remedy that type of situation. Man, I am missing that mini-map in the corner. We're back to village, cave, or forest for this one, and the caves get this annoying, like, fog effect that you're wandering around in the dark, but I never found an item that remedies it, so once again, something that wasn't needed but just looks different, but for better or worse in a lot of cases. By far, this is the darkest story of this game's gameplay suffers a little bit. Like, this is the longest I've spent on one of these games, too. They're really not giving you too much too early this time. Like Saga before it, there's a tough non-story boss you'll need to prep for, and while this game does have a map, it doesn't have the usual go to this location for a lot of middle monsters and kill for Insano XP gains, or go to this and kill for Insano gold increases. That's up to this new side area. There's this randomized dungeon of many levels to explore and take your grinding there. Yeah, a lot of what made the past games so easy to grind is just lost. You can buy things with alchemy stones again, but they're few and far between you can get normally to make your time in this game more of a cakewalk. They really want you to earn the plat for this, like no game before it. So yeah, the last game I've covered went big on extra stuff and small on the plot, kind of. We kind of 180'd in that regard for this game. Plot and characters really have a chance to shine front and center, like the last game with Revenant in the title. And as much as I would have liked the game to continue its ways of getting XP quickly, I can still say despite that little gripe, it's a pretty solid RPG. Again, not much with the whole with the Revenants. It just has like the name in it. There's no like they mention it. It's like something different than the demons that have been housed, which is what the early Revenant saga was about. So it just feels like a sequel in name only, and then they do it in the style. It's just an excuse a lot of the other games kind of look like the same. Anyway, as well. Overall, I'd give this a solid B-. Join me next time for lucky number 7, maybe? A game called Cronus Arc. Only time will tell, which I will then tell you with my review. So until next time, take care. Thanks for watching.